Don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today. And though you've come through many obstacles.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Stone Ocean episode 15. So, last time we had a two-part arc, I guess you could say, where Ermes got her revenge against Sportsmax for the killing of her sister Gloria. And we had zombies. Not just zombies, but zombie animals, too. And yeah, that was unique. And it was a pretty interesting episode. Or episodes. It definitely went in a direction I was not expecting, but I'm very pleased it went in. And I'm just hoping we continue to get more really interesting, unique stuff and applications for these stands going forward in this part. So now we go on to episode 15, and yeah, once again, I don't know what to expect. I am pretty much entirely blind to pretty much all of this part. I don't think there's really much of anything I know about going forward. Yeah, I can't really think of anything. There might be something I've heard of or whatnot before, but just don't remember, but I guess that's a good thing. So I don't know what stand we're going to get next. I don't know where it's going with Poochie or anything. I do know there's one character that's going to be coming into play who appeared in the first batch of episodes, but didn't really have a role. That's this Anasui character. In the first batch of episodes, he was introduced with weather reports, but he just kind of pieced out and didn't have any role to play, while weather report was more of a focused character. So I don't know when he's going to appear or what his role is going to be, but that's probably the only real thing I know about going forward. So, I'm excited to see what happens next. Excuse me. We're just going to get this started and hope for the best. So when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So, I had to look up who some of these characters and all were named after. The guards were Viviana Westwood and Sonny Lakier, and apparently they're both named after fashion designers. Viviana Westwood, who is the guard who survived in the end, is named for Vivienne Westwood, who is a British fashion designer. And Sonny Lakier is named after Sonia Riquel, a French fashion designer. And I'm sure I mispronounced the last name there, so I apologize for that. Sonny Lakier, by the way, was the Giorno-looking motherfucker. But I also wanted to look up, of course, Anasui, who's going to be finally getting to become a character, you know. So Anasui is named after two different people. Narciso Rodriguez, who is an American fashion designer. There seems to be a lot of fashion designers in this arc. And Anna Sui, who is also an American fashion designer. So, yeah, right now, At least, and also, Anna Sui is from Detroit. So a local hometown person for me. And apparently she's still alive, 58 years old. So someone who's at least fairly recent. And is even mentioned apparently in the ranks of Yves Saint Laurent, Giorgio Armani, Ralph Lauren, and Diane von Furstenberg, who I know all of those names. So that's actually saying something. And I'm not even like, I like fashion, but I'm not like super knowledgeable about it. So the fact that I know all of those names except Anna Sui's is kind of surprising. And the fact that she's within their ranks and considered within the same kind of quality, I guess. And it makes sense that JoJo would name characters and stuff after fashion designers because of how fashion has a play in this series. But I just wasn't expecting it to be all fashion designers here. Now, the only exception is Anasui's stand, who we hear about and briefly see the effects of. Diver Down. Diver Down is named for an album, like I had guessed, of the same name from Van Halen. I don't think I know the album offhand, but let me check here. But Diver Down has the ability to apparently have a time delay on attacks, which can be used in interesting ways, I'm sure. So Diver Down is the fifth album from Van Halen, was released in 1982. What tracks are on it? There's probably some songs on it I know. Where Have All the Good Times Gone? Yeah, I know that song. I think I know Pretty Woman. I definitely know Dancing in the Street. I think I know Happy Trails. So I know a couple songs from that album for sure. It's just I didn't know the album by name, basically. Oh yeah, I definitely know Pretty Album. What am I talking or Pretty Woman? What am I talking about? It says the writers here, and it says Pretty Woman, writer Roy Orbison. It's like, oh, of course I know that song. Then it's one of I guess it's one of those covers that Van Halen did. Dancing in the Street is a cover too, Marvin Gaye and everything. So there's actually definitely some songs on here I know. Okay. But let's actually talk about the episode. So we get to see more into that little conversation between Father Pucci and Sportsmax from before. And we get to see that, yeah, Pucci indeed was trying to resurrect Dio using the bone. And apparently Sportsmax did resurrect something. But we don't actually know if it was Dio. We don't know if that bone was, in fact, Dio's after all. So, and I don't know if we'll ever find out, because I don't know if the stand is able to persist after death and allow the zombies to remain after Sportsmax's death. I don't know. Though, to be fair, he did come back as a zombie after death as well. Like, that was a thing. He did die, and his body came back as a zombie, so I guess maybe it does. So then, by that logic, then this possibly Dio zombie is still around too. But in the meantime, after Jolyne got herself thrown in prison before, Foo Fighters showed the disc from Sportsmax, all these memories, to Emporio. And that's where Anasui comes in. So Anasui is apparently a vicious murderer who is merciless and just emotionless. He doesn't tend to help. He doesn't tend to want to care about anyone. He does his own thing, and apparently Weather Report keeps him under control. But Weather Report's also being taken care of in the hospital wing right now. Um, Now, Foo Fighters is trying to get Anasui to help and is about to try and force him to help rescue Jolyne, but he volunteers on his own. We found out from Emporio his backstory, that apparently he has some kind of condition that developed during his youth where he has this compulsion to pull things apart, to take things apart, whether it be like a watch, a car, or even people, apparently. Though, to be fair, it looks like he only did that to, his girlfriend and her secret lover because she was cheating on him. I don't think he had that little control over his compulsions based on what we saw. I may be wrong, though, but it seems like they were the only people he ever killed, from what we could tell. And he only did it because he was upset at, her cheating on him. Which, I mean, that's not exactly a valid reason for murder, but still. I don't think he's as cold and heartless as Emporio is saying. But he definitely seems off. And on top of that, apparently he wants to marry Jolyne now. Because he admires her spirit and her determination and everything. And so he's like, Foo Fighters, give me your blessing. We need a blessing. That's how you have a wedding, right? Give me your blessing. It's not a real wedding without a blessing, so that I can marry Jolyne. And it's like, one, what? Two, who says you need a fucking blessing to get... What? That's just not accurate. That's, like, so ridiculously old-fashioned. And it's just not accurate even in the olden days. Three, fuck off. Jolyne belongs with Ermes. And Foo Fighters as well. But especially Ermes. You don't get to just come in out of nowhere and take her for yourself. And also, kind of most importantly, you're just planning on marrying her without even hearing what she says? She has a say in that too, Like, you can't just force someone to marry you against their will. That's fucked up. I don't know what to think of Anasui so far. I don't. It's too early to tell, but I'm irritated by him because of this entire situation. I don't like the entire attempt to force a marriage on Jolyne. I just don't like that. But we go to see Jolyne, who's still being tormented by the guards and everything, though she's faking just how much she's being tormented, just to try and find the bone using her strings. However, we find out through another flashback of Poochie's, when he was talking to Dio, that there is a stand at play here. Because, of course there is. Why wouldn't there be? Poochie had asked Dio in the past what is the weakest stand he had come across. Dio's initial answer is like, no stand is weak, it just depends on how the user uses it. And so Poochie's like, okay, let's rephrase this. What stand is like the least controllable? What stand is the least usable? And Dio's like, oh, well, in that case, it's Survivor. And I'm going to look this up because I didn't look this one up yet, but I assume this is the Destiny's Child song. Let me just check to make sure, though. Survivor. Oh, it's named for the band Survivor. And the album as well. The self-titled album. Do I know this band? I would think it'd be named for like the Destiny's Child song. But I mean, I guess it's just named for a band specifically. Oh, yes, I know this band. They're the band for Eye of the Tiger. Duh. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about that. I guess that makes sense still, but again, I was more thinking the Destiny's Child song. Wow, that's an interesting little view into my life, isn't it? But either way, so he's like, oh, well, Survivor would be the weakest then, because it's completely uncontrollable. It doesn't do anything actively. It doesn't attack. It doesn't have any strength to it. All it does is send electrical signals through the ground and into people to make them angrier, to basically enhance their anger. That's it. There's nothing else to it. It's not something that can be controlled or handled in any way. It just acts. It acts entirely on its own without any sense of intelligent thought behind it. And obviously, since it is electrical signals, it's conducted better through water. So if there's water on the ground, it travels easier. And so we see in the past, Poochie asks Dio for the stand, and he's like, oh, sure. Because you can use that with your discs, right? So you can make it so that it's used at the exact right time by the right person for the best like reasons and all. And so it's like, okay, we see where this is going. So the guards who are tormenting Jolyne start to mess with each other a little bit. One of the guards accidentally sprays the other with the hose he was using to spray Jolyne, and then he punches back, and they start getting angrier at each other, and they start full-on brawling until one of them kills the other. I have already forgotten their names. I'm not going to look them up again. One of them kills the other just through a violent fist fight. And then he sets everyone else in that area free. This is like the ultimate cell block for the worst of the worst. Everyone here is under like huge, like, how do I put it? Solitary confinement in a way, except obviously they're technically not as super solitary. But it's like they are there for a reason. And he just released them all. And 4 of them have stands. Presumably outside of someone having Survivor. So there's presumably 4 other stands here now. 4 other stand users. This is going to get insane. The guard mentions, like, welcome to Fight Club. And it's like, yeah, this is going to be pretty nuts. Just having all of these random people just fighting each other just for the hell of it. And it's like, I trust Jolyne will obviously get out of it, but this is going to be an insane brawl for sure. And I wonder how Anasui and Foo Fighters are going to come into play with this. Well, we'll see. So, that all being said, we're just going to check this out. Check this out. I'm getting mixed up here now. We're just going to find out in the future, and kind of go from there. I don't know how many parts this this arc is going to be. If it's going to be like 2 episodes, 3 episodes, I don't know. But I'm definitely interested to see how it goes down. And I'm definitely interested to see how Anasui's stand, Diver Down, can be used in some interesting ways. In the meantime, though, tell me in the comments below, what did you think of this episode of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Stone Ocean? And thank you so much for tuning in. For now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.